Hey everyone, this is Michael with the very first installment of the Black Mirror for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Before you skip ahead, please allow me to explain this reading because it's not your traditional tarot reading on YouTube. While I realize the Black Mirror may sound like kind of a scary or even sinister name, it's really not anything like that at all. It's actually designed to help you look for any patterns, beliefs, or aspects in your subconscious or shadow self, really with the intention of helping you maneuver through any emotional or energetic blockages and go forward in your life in the direction that feels most good to you. You can kind of consider this your mid-month shadow work reading. While this reading isn't explicitly about relationships, career, or anything else that a lot of these tarot readings usually cover, it's more directed towards your personal, psycho-spiritual growth and development, which means it's actually likely to apply to many areas of your life simultaneously. So that's kind of cool, right? If you're interested in learning about how this energy might be manifesting in your external reality, what is going to be happening in your life or in your world around you, I definitely recommend taking a look at the general monthly readings on my channel. You are also more than welcome to look on YouTube for any of the other amazing and gifted readers, and I'm sure there's a message there for you somewhere. This reading was made with a time frame of mid-February to mid-March, kind of loosely in mind, but ultimately I advise all of you to trust the wisdom and guidance of this message whenever it finds you. It doesn't matter. This is ultimately a timeless reading. I do have links for my social media, as well as my services, my website, donations, and much more in the description box down below. I actually am offering a discount if you use the code REBIRTH at checkout. I actually updated my website recently, so that code is kind of commemorating the rebirth of my website and coming back into these services because I took a little bit of a break. So you get a 10% discount off on any service until Monday, February 24th, midnight Eastern Standard Time. So if you want that discount, I would hurry and get those today. And I'm going to start shuffling for you. As I'm doing that, I would like to remind all of you that this is a general reading, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. I always set the intention for these readings to, really reach the most people who need to hear a specific message. So nothing went wrong if I don't pick up on your energy. However, because this reading is really looking at your subconscious, it may not be readily apparent to you right away either. So just kind of keep that in mind. You are also more than welcome to check out this series with your moon, rising, or Venus sign. I actually think your moon sign might work best just because of the nature of this reading. If you don't know what those are or have no idea what I'm talking about, check out the natal chart calculator in the description box down below. That should be able to help you figure out your moon and other placements in your natal chart. So let's see what we have for you for my Libras right now. Kind of looking at our patterns here, looking at the subconscious. What's going on here? Show me clearly. What are the messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Show me clearly, please. Interesting. Okay. Feeling like I'm just supposed to kind of shuffle and draw from the top. Ordinarily, I wait for the cards to fall out. But let's see. I always trust my intuition, and I let that guide me first. Okay. Interesting. Okay, Libra, we have the Temperance card. And this is kind of what's on your conscious mind right now, the energy of you coming into this reading. There is you finding a new balance in your life right now, overall. And it may be, I actually think that a lot of you are letting go of some things in order to find this, kind of stripping yourself clear here, really renewing yourself for this time. I know that this isn't time specific, but we are currently in the Mercury retrograde in Pisces, so this is kind of a slower, more reflective time in general. And if you're not watching this during a retrograde, you can just kind of consider that this is a period of time where you're finding a new balance. you're really working with the divine timing of things, and it may not be immediate. Your patience is kind of being asked of you at this time. And I do see being reflected back at you the Ten of Wands in reverse. Some of you really may be trying to shuffle or juggle multiple things in your life right now, really trying to strike this balance. What you might not be wanting to acknowledge, however, is you do need to let go of something. You do need to let go of some burden. You may be holding on to something because you're afraid of letting it go. That could be a relationship, that could be a job, and it could be any type of relationship. It could be a friend, it could be a coworker, it could be a family member. It doesn't have to be romantic. But you've really been trying to kind of find your balance, keep yourself well in a situation that is actually burdening you. And I think by holding on to whatever this is, however this is manifesting in your life, you're actually preventing yourself from achieving this balance. So this is very interesting. And you don't want to see what this is. Some of you may be aware of this, others of you won't be. Maybe it's becoming very obvious what this is just by watching this. Maybe it's become obvious to you recently, but there's still this part of you that's resistant to letting something go, but it's important for your balance, for your well-being. I do have the Hierophant in reverse. This is actually what is not showing up in the mirror right now. So this is interesting. I feel like some of you are really... You are escaping a situation that felt a little bit oppressive for you, or maybe even changing your own beliefs as well, because the Hierophant represents traditions, spirituality. You might be going through kind of a spiritual awakening or refining your own spiritual path, maybe changing the way that you're looking at the world. And I feel like for you specifically, Libra, there's some sort of vision that you are enacting in your life. Let's clarify this. The King of Wands. So how I'm really seeing this, Libra, you are supposed to be stepping up in your own life right now. Some of you are afraid to do that. Some of you may even be a vibrational match to someone who is very controlling. And they need to step out of the picture here. That might be what you're letting go of. Or just this very rigid way of thinking about things where it's almost like you're policing yourself because of this person. And even if this person is someone you've already left behind in the past, maybe that's why they're not even showing up so much in the reading now. They may not physically be in your life, but there's still this pattern that you've internalized and you need to let it go. This could also be a situation where you had to behave a certain way, where you had to kind of diminish your sense of self, reduce your power, and now you are really being called to step back into that, but you have to first acknowledge the ways you've been doing that. It wasn't just enough to kind of let something go, leave a situation behind, or leave a person behind. You're now realizing that you really internalize a lot of that relationship or a lot of that dynamic. And with the Artist showing up in the reverse, this is actually what I call the crack in the mirror. This is how you kind of break this pattern here. Interesting. I want to pull one more clarifier. This is you coming out of this dreamscape for sure. Being clarified with this Two of Pentacles here. There's again this need to strike a balance. But you might not even see what this balance is right now. This is what's so confusing. You thought you did what you needed to do to strike the balance. It was part of it. I think you did need to distance yourself from some sort of situation or something from your past. but you're not seeing that there's still this dynamic that's being played out inside of you. And the artist kind of does represent the subconscious and creating from the subconscious. It's kind of like a subconscious manifester, is kind of how I'm feeling with this. I'm sorry, a subconscious magician, which is often about manifestation, using the consciousness, using the will, putting things together, creating our dreams into a reality. The artist is more dreamy than that. And if you're not careful, I'm almost getting the image, it's like you're still in this Hierophant in reverse energy, even though you're out of the situation. And now you really need to step up into your own power. Really find your own agency, your own voice, your own authority. You may not have been able to do that before. And we have the well in reverse as well. We have two of the unique cards from this deck, so this is really interesting. This was definitely the deck I was supposed to use for you. The well in reverse. Something is depleted in you right now. And I'm actually very specifically kind of getting the image of water that has become stagnant, poisoned in a way. It's no longer potable, and this is your subconscious. You are healing your subconscious. That's a big thing for you to do right now. Because it wasn't even the burden itself that was necessarily the problem. It's the fact you took it on. And I will even go as far to say as the fact you took it on in the first place. Why did you feel like you needed to tolerate this situation? Where does that come from? A lot of you, this is from a lack of self-worth. And that's what needs to be healed. Interesting. I'm going to pull a color healing card for you now, Libra. And you are welcome to use these cards, these colors, in whatever way feels right for you. I personally like to do a little bit of an art therapy exercise with them. But I will be reading these from the book, which actually offers a guided visualization working with this specific color. But again, the limits are really up to your own creativity. So let's see what we have. What is the healing color for Libra right now? What is the healing color for Libra? Interesting. We have Plum. Overcoming your challenges. Interesting. Because this is really telling me that you thought your challenge was one thing, but your challenge is actually something that's internal. And you've been manifesting it in your external reality, because our reality is essentially a hallway of mirrors. But this challenge is something you've imposed on yourself. And you're becoming aware of that. And hopefully this color card is going to give us some advice as to how to deal with this. But sometimes with this shadow work, it really is just shining the light on it. It's really just understanding, I walked into this situation because of this belief, because of this limitation that I held myself to. And when you realize that, that just kind of dissolves it. You just need to understand. But let's see what we have with Plum here. This is 41, which breaks down to a numerological 5, so there is some changes that you are going to be making in your life. So Plum is a color of devotion, dedication, and commitment that connects you to your heart and life purpose. Yes. Creating deep bonds in friendships and relationship, it also assists you to stay strong through hardships and difficult situations. Plum is a color of deep inner strength and faith. Use plum rays to overcome challenges and discover your life purpose. If you are facing something difficult, make sure you surround yourself with plum. Wear plum color clothes, jewelry, or shoes. Eat plums, paint with this color, or visualize a ray of plum to soothe your heart and soul. Find the gift in this challenging experience and allow its insights to come to your mind. Say, Divine Spirit, please use the plum ray to guide me through any challenges I may experience with ease, grace, and softness. So what this is telling me, Libra, is you have left something behind, or you are in the process of recognizing that you need to do that. You're still going to be encountering some challenges because you're still working through these subconscious blockages, this limitation you've imposed on yourself. And you can really use this color to help you maneuver through it and really reconnect to your heart, connect to your purpose, connect to that thing that brings you your fire, because that was actually a missing piece for you for some time. So I do hope that this plum color is helpful for you. I'd be curious to hear how some of you may be using these color healing cards. I always think that's really fascinating. And of course, your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes are very, very appreciated. It's because of all of you I'm able to continue sharing these messages. So thank you all so much who support your channel, who support this channel in that way. Again, I have links in the description box for personal readings, Reiki sessions, donations for those of you who feel so called, and a whole bunch of other things. You can even just check out my new website, see how that looks. And I will see you all in the next video. Oh, and of course, don't forget that discount code, REBIRTH. That is good until Monday the 24th at midnight. That will give you 10% off any of the readings or Reiki sessions I offer. Take care, Libra.